Hello, in this video we're going to do a quick introduction to TapisApps commands. So what is a TapisApp? TapisApp is a containerized executable that runs on a specific execution system. So what do you mean by containerized? Basically, a Tapis, it means that all the files to run the application are in one container or directory. That directory contains a file called wrapper.sh and a directory test, and then the directory might contain other directories and files containing applications and other scripts that the wrapper might need. So if you remember from yesterday, when we submit a job to Stampede or Frontera, we create a submit.sh script that's submitted to SBatch. Well, this is what Tapis is really doing under the covers. It's actually creating a submit.sh script, and in that script it's basically going to put wrapper.sh, and then whatever's in wrapper.sh basically gets run. So typical apps operations, we have TapisApps list, show us the current list. We can search for an app. We can show the details of an app with this TapisApp show. We can create an app and we can update an app. So what we're going to do in this today is create a new app to compile and run an MPI program. So this is going to be our wrapper.sh. We can ignore the stuff at the beginning and the stuff at the end. That's Tapis specific. So what our wrapper is going to do, it's going to module load Intel. It's going to spit out some information so we can see where we are, so what's up. And then all it's going to do is compile the program file and then run it with ibrun./a.out. You've all seen that yesterday. So how are we going to create the app? Well, the best way to create a program is always to copy something that's somewhat close if we can, small. So what we're going to do is we're going to clone an app. When we clone an app, we need to specify an execution system. So the execution system we specify is going to be the one we created in the first step. We have to give our new app a name, so we'll call it something like this. We have to give it a version number. Again, give it whatever numbers we come up with. It needs 3 numbers here. And then we're going to give it the app that we're going to clone. For our purposes, we're going to clone the SimCenter Dakota 1.0.0U1. This is reasonably close to what we want. It takes an input directory, and it also takes three or four input parameters, so we're going to have to modify this a little bit. So E, again, the name of the execution system, and the name of the application, and X is the version. And then finally, to get the app description, which we're going to edit, we need to TapisApp show our new app. We want the information to come back in a JSON format, and we're going to send that information to a file, which we're going to edit. So this is the file. It contains a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, these are the things we're going to edit. We're going to have a default processor count at 8, 1 node. We're going to change the tags in this thing, and then we're going to change the parameters. The current parameters takes a number of parameters. We're just going to take one, the input program. In the file, there's other things like the deployment path. You'll see that's your home directory, applications, MC, the application name. Well, we're going to use this when we update. This is the place where we're going to update our files to. First of all, we are going to upload the new wrapper.sh. The wrapper.sh is in the the code agave folder. I have a wrapper.sh for this class, for this example, so we're going to use that. So after we've updated the wrapper script, we can now update the application. So we're going to invoke the TapisApps update. We're going to pass it the file we just edited, where we just changed the input parameters, and then this is the application we're updating. So that seems simple enough, so let's go through this. So here I am in terminal. I'm in the SimCenter Bootcamp 2020 code agave directory. I have a bunch of files, and now we're going to go about looking at these apps. So TapisApps.h will show us the commands we have available. So clone, create, deploy. So we are going to search for the SimCenter app. So TapisApps search minus name like SimCenter. Look at it in a JSON format, -f JSON. Nope, didn't like it. TapisApps search -name like --name. Okay, there's that SimCenter one. It's right at the bottom, which is handy. We just copy this. If you want to have a look at this, TapisApps show Control B that -f JSON. This is this app we're going to clone. It's got, what does it have we liked? I liked the fact that it has an input directory for the inputs, and then it takes a bunch of parameters. So we're going to tweak this. Okay, so let's go clone this app. So to clone the app, I first need to remember what my execution system was that we created. Tapis systems search --name like. I remember I called it demo. Yeah, demo 2. That was the one I just did today. Let's copy this one. It's okay. So we're going to TapisApps. We're going to clone. We're going to specify the execution system is what I just copied. We're going to give this a name, MPI compile SimCenter. We're going to give it a version number. Let's move this over here. Version number is 0.0.1. And we're compiling that design safe app we just no longer in this one here. This guy, we're cloning this guy here. That's what we decided on. Just paste that, go down to the bottom, paste it in, cross our fingers that we created that execution system right, because this is where we'll find out if we didn't. Okay, that was a success. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to get the app description, so we're going to do a TapisApps show our new app, which is this guy. So I'm going to copy him. So before I paste it, we're just going to, the output's going to go to JSON v, and then we're going to send that into my MPI compile SimCenter. I like to keep these the same names. This is different from what I described in the description, but I'll live with it. I've already created the app. Okay, so now I have this file, MPI compile SimCenter. So now what we want to do is we want to edit this file. So you see I have clone parameters. We're going to use clone parameters, and we're just going to copy it straight into this MPI compile SimCenter. So I'm going to Emacs MPI compile. So the default processors per node, we're going to shut this down to 8. Default node count, we'll leave it 8. We could probably put it at 1. It's not the tags, well, we'll just call it MPI. We don't need these other tags in there. And now if I do that, remember this is JSON, so this comma here has to go away. So that's a correctly formatted JSON. If I had a comma there, that's incorrectly formatted. Of course, you just can leave all the tags as they were. So there's that input directory. So one thing in our input must be input directory. And here's our parameters. And I mentioned I had this file, clone parameters. we're just going to cut this, paste this here, cut it all out. Okay. Now we're just going to come in here and we'll Control Y that now. And then we're going to remove the old one. I think output file is the last section we have to delete here. Here she comes. Okay, so we have that done. So we've modified this now. If you remember the wrapper.script from the thing, that's specifying an input directory. And our parameters had a program file. So that's that done. So now I'm going to upload my wrapper to DesignSafe. Here's the wrapper. Let me put in some more stuff in here. Just show you guys more information. So where are we? So let's do a PWD to see where we start off. Then we'll do an ls-sal to show you the files that are there. Okay, so we'll keep that. So that'll be available for you tomorrow. You won't have to make that change. Now I'm going to do a Tapis. Let's show the files here. Tapis. Well, let's in the MPI compile SimCenter.json, we see the deployment path is here. So I'm going to just copy this. This is where the file exists. So just Control-C that. So Tapis files upload to Gabi DesignSafe storage default. Control-V that. We're going to put the wrapper.sh. So we're uploading the wrapper to the container. And now we can upload my app. TapisApps update on this file. MPI compile SimCenter.json. And we're going to upload our app, which is, here's the thing right here. So that worked. So we're now ready to launch a job and see if this all worked.